ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to The Hidden Agenda. I'm Thanasi.
I am Tony.
And we've got a bit of a special episode for you today as a commemoration of our 10th episode. We're doing what we're calling a dregs episode.
Yes.
This is all the topics that never made it into another episode because they suck too much.
So, because of that, you get more than 5.
Yeah, so we're aiming for 10 today.
Oh, I think we just keep going until we...
Until we run out of steam?
Yeah.
We can do that. But basically, yeah, they're going to be short, not sweet because they suck.
We don't know that.
Well, I don't.
These are the things that we think suck.
Okay.
We'll find out as we go whether they actually do.
That's true. We'll find out as we go. So, let's get right into it. Who's starting? We haven't actually decided.
No, I didn't. I thought you had a plan for that.
All right, I'll go first.
Okay, drag number 1.
Dreg number 1.
So this never made it into a previous episode, and let's see if we can figure out why when Thanasi tells us
that I really hate multifunctional single-use items.
Okay, is that because...
See, that sigh right there, that's what tells me that this is a dreg. I only have one example off the top of my head for this.
Can I guess why you don't like them, though?
Go ahead.
It's because if it's multifunctional and single use, then all the other functions except the one you're using are not ever going to be used.
Okay, so that's how I wrote it down, but I suppose what I meant to say really is things that clearly only have one use and yet claim to have multiple.
Okay.
So rather than something that can be used for multiple things but is exhausted after being used once.
Right.
Which is, I think, how you understood it.
Yes.
No. This is usually cheap crap, right, that has very little appeal, and in order to try and sell it, they claim it has multiple functions.
Okay.
And the perfect example is the $10 dish drying rack I bought from Kmart a couple of weeks ago. It claims quite loudly on the box, multifunctional dish rack, like drying rack, kitchen drying rack, okay?
Yeah.
The reason it claims to be multifunctional is because it has a little slot for spoons.
Oh, well, a spoon is not a dish, as we all know, so I think that's fair enough.
Unfortunately, the box only calls it doesn't actually say dish rack, it says drying rack.
Well, and you could dry all sorts of things on there.
That's exactly right.
If you dropped a book in the bath, you could put that on the rack.
That's exactly right. But all of those functions are just drying.
Yeah.
None of that, it doesn't, like, for example, if it had, let's say, a felt lining on the little thing where you put the spoons in to help them dry faster, I might accept that that was multifunctional.
Right. It's still just drying, though.
Sure. It's a different method of drying. Look, it's a stretch, but I'd accept it, right? Because I only paid $10 for it. Now, if it was $50 and the only extra function was a piece of felt, I wouldn't be okay with that.
Right.
But no, it just annoys me. Don't try and sell me something. You're trying to sell me on something that it doesn't do, right? So all of it is just drip drying.
Right. So, yeah, and I think that's an interesting observation, because you do see... The last bullet point on any product is just a stretch.
Oh, always.
And it's...
Always.
Yeah, it's just someone gone out and gone, oh, can I add this one?
I suppose it's technically not a lie, right? Yeah, it's always something like that. But yeah, no, that's... I really don't have much else to say. It just really annoys me when I see, like, multifunctional X, and it does one thing. Yeah. And it doesn't even do that. That dish rack sucks. The whole thing is just badly designed.
Well,
there don't need to be 3 moving parts on a dish rack. But yeah, that's it. I've got nothing else.
Cool. That's drag number 1.
That's drag number 1.
All right, so drag number 2.
Yep.
You like a bit of trivia, yeah?
I do like some trivia.
Now, there's a lot of trivia out there.
Yeah?
What percentage of the trivia that's out there would you say you've done?
Oh, less than 1%.
Why do we hire trivia writers?
Yeah. I don't know why.
Do we need more of the fucking trivia than what we have?
No.
No one's probably even scratched the surface of the body of trivia that we have.
No, absolutely not.
And yet there's someone employed at the Age to come up with questions. They could just reprint what they printed
10 years ago.
And no one would know.
Absolutely. Well, I'm sure there's one curmudgeon somewhere that would know.
Oh, well, then you go back 20 years ago.
Yeah,
you
true.
mix them up a little.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I just don't understand why...
First of all, you don't write trivia. All you're doing is searching for facts, right? And then asking people to tell you the fact.
Yeah,
right?
I guess.
So already, all the trivia is written. right? You just need to pick the ones that you like and put them on a page.
If you're doing multiple choice, you need to come up with the wrong ones, I suppose.
Yeah, but
that, I mean, that's hardly writing, I suppose.
no, yeah, it's not terribly creative.
No.
No.
But I don't understand, like, Eddie Maguire, he's got someone writing questions.
Oh, man. Yeah.
But why? Why does Eddie Maguire... We have so much trivia.
You know what we need less of?
What?
Eddie Maguire.
I can't solve that.
Yeah.
But I read an interesting situation where Trivial Pursuit was sued by a guy who wrote a book called The Trivia Encyclopedia because Trivial Pursuit just nicked a bunch of the trivia from the book, including something entirely made up that the guy just put in the book
as a trap.
And that's why he...
Oh, it's like the fake streets and maps and shit.
Yeah,
right.
And the judge decreed you can't steal trivia.
No, because it's just facts.
Yeah.
So if that was the case, then, like, assuming you believe this, God should sue everybody that comes up with trivia books.
Yeah, but
it's his stuff.
Why are we making more of it?
No, we don't need it.
I could probably do trivia.
And I reckon a lot... Sorry to cut you off, but I reckon a lot of the world's trivia writers have written a lot of the same questions.
Probably. There's probably not a lot of collaboration going on. There's not a lot of what area are you going in. I don't want to step on your toes.
I do physics trivia.
Yeah.
What do you do?
I do geography trivia.
We'll be okay.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. What is the velocity of France? No, you can't.
The velocity of France.
That's my domain. You stay out of that.
Well, that's kind of both, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, but that's a silly question.
What is the velocity of France?
I don't know. I just don't understand why we're... Yeah, I mean... Unless you're done, if you've answered every trivia question...
All the trivia in the world...
Yeah, we don't need any more.
We don't need any more trivia writers.
No. But that's all. That was just a little...
No, that's a good one. This is a good point. We don't need trivia writers.
We don't need any more trivia writers.
I would argue we don't need any.
Yeah, I think so.
Dreg number 3.
Oh,
Dreg number 3. For some reason, we really hate the letter Z in English.
Yeah.
In British English.
Yeah.
And that's always bothered me because it's the only thing I've agreed with Americans on.
So, and the way we use S instead
of Z. Yeah.
Yeah. Why does that bother you?
Because it's the one time where using a Z makes sense. And we don't. We refuse. And there's no reason. I put it to you that there's absolutely no reason that organize, capitalize, materialize. There's no reason that SE on the end shouldn't be a ZE.
Yeah. But is there any reason it should be? Other than it has a Z sound.
Well, that's what the letter's for. If we've got the letter for it and we're not using it, why the fuck have the letter?
So why do we have PH when we got F?
I can't answer that. But you're such a smart ass, you know that? The PH comes from something. The PH comes from something, doesn't it?
I don't know. But it's the same as F.
It is.
So
I have no answer to that. But what I'm saying is that we do have a Z, right?
Yeah.
We haven't got two Zs, right? Because S isn't officially a Z in any way.
Yeah.
Right? It's just for some reason we've decided put an S there.
To extrapolate on your point a little.
Yeah.
I do feel like
we underuse it.
Well, I feel like just in general the alphabet is top heavy.
We do use a lot of the early letters a lot more.
I think if you grab a dictionary and you open up to the middle page, you're sort of sitting in the front half of the
like
alphabet.
A G.
Yeah. And then like X, V, you know.
It's like the last 3 pages.
It's just like they were clearly tacked on at the end, and then we got to Z and went, no more.
Look, we're talking like this. We need some things to fit these sounds, but we don't use them very much. Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like the front half of the alphabet gets used way more than the back half.
Probably even like the front third.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe it's just dictionary writers running out of steam. They get through to G and I'm like, if I keep this pace up for every letter, I'm going to be here forever. We're just blazing through the rest.
Well, hang on. Because don't all the vowels fall in roughly the first half?
Yeah, O is technically...
O and U are in the second half.
Yeah, but O is pretty much right in the middle.
Yeah, O's in the middle.
Leaving U...
U is sort of towards the end somewhere.
The least liked vowel.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we
I
can
agree.
do away. Like, if you had to get rid of one, U's going.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Oh.
Well, what are you going to use instead?
U is the posh spice of the vowels. It can go.
Can it though?
Yes.
How is it the posh spice?
It's just...
You really just dislike posh spice?
Well, she was the most useless.
This is Victoria Beckham, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
They turned her mic down.
Well, she couldn't sing.
Yeah. During performances.
Yeah.
U isn't even like... I think there are consonants that are used more than U.
Almost certainly. T, for example.
Yeah.
P, S.
I don't know about P, but I think
I got
T.
a problem with S, though.
What's your problem with
It's
S?
too many hats. It's wearing too many hats in British English.
Like what?
The Z, the Z, the Z
Yeah,
sound.
but apart from that.
But a letter should wear one hat.
Yeah, okay, so you must also have a problem with G and J then?
Absolutely.
C and K?
But more of a problem with No. C and K are sharing the same hat. They've got half a hat each.
Yeah. You're
Bear
right.
with me here.
Yeah, okay, yeah, no.
This is the same thing. This is the same thing. So J, which is occasionally y, but only for loan words, right? Those don't count because that's not British English.
Okay.
That's borrowed English.
All right. Yeah.
Right. S is wearing two hats. F and PH, half a hat each. Right?
Okay, no, fair point. Okay, drag number 4.
Yes.
I'm going to build off what you just said there.
All right.
And I think the second half of the alphabet is cooler than the first half.
I completely agree.
I have a couple of theories as to why.
Yep.
My last name being Besselink, whenever we had to do presentations in class, I had to bank
you were like
on
third.
Yeah. And everyone with the name in the second half, some of them were so blasé, they'd be like, I'm not ready, but fuck, we'll run out of time.
But mine's not going to be till Wednesday.
Yeah, I don't have to worry about that.
I would definitely used to leverage that because I'm sort of about halfway as Pulos. So I used to generally miss the first day. I'd be on the second day.
But halfway is also good because occasionally the teachers will sort of trip, like, we're going to go in reverse order.
Exactly. I was good no matter what. And it happened. It did happen. We did have... No, one teacher used to alternate between forwards and backwards for that exact reason.
And you were always on day 2.
Always in the middle. Always on the second day. Yeah. Always.
That's pretty... Yeah, no, it was always usually more alphabetical than reverse alphabetical. So,
well, I agree with that predominantly because my favourite letter is X.
Yeah?
I think it looks cool. It sounds cool when it's used, in words and stuff.
Well, the other thing, I think bands that have where the name starts with something in the second half of the alphabet, to me, are cooler than bands with the first half of the alphabet.
Yeah.
But my theory for that is when you open up a music app, all the bands in the first half are all, hey, look at me, I'm here.
I'm at the top of the list.
And you scroll down and say, here we are. We're the cool ones down here. You had to dig to find us.
And actually, this goes exactly the same for you open up I suppose you don't do this anymore, but you used to open up a Yellow Pages, right? You go to the plumbing section. A1 plumbing, AA plumbing, AB and Sons plumbing. Those were all the shit ones.
Yeah.
Those were all the ones that we're not going to be recommended by anyone. Nobody's going to want our business. So we just got to put lots of A's at the start of our names so we're at the top of the list. You never want your plumbing done by AAA plumbing.
No.
Because it's going to be bad.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
You want your plumbing done by... Todd, Bob and Sons, something. T, X, down there somewhere.
That's the cool letters there.
They've got the confidence to be like, we don't need to be at the top of the list because we guarantee our work.
We're not sellouts.
We're not exactly. We're not just sitting here going, stick 4 A's at the front so we can be first.
We don't need your business. If you want it, you can come to us.
Come and find us.
And then
if you find us, we'll come and we'll do a good job. Yeah.
But another theory that I just thought of is a lot of the letters in the first half of the alphabet, mainly A through F, are associated with school.
Yes.
No one ever got an X on there. Well, maybe the X is not a good... No one ever got an S on there. No, S is... No.
Well, actually, I have to say that really depends on the school. In my primary school, we didn't have A through E or A through F for whatever reason. We had... E was actually the highest grade. That was excelling.
All right, okay.
And I think then we had, in the middle, there were only 4. In the middle we had DO or something. It was like doing okay or something weird like that. And then there was developing and sort of limited competence, I think, was the lowest one.
Limited?
LC, yeah, was the lowest one.
That's harsher than an F. Limited competence.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But I'm just... yeah.
How's Billy doing? His competence is limited.
I know.
He's not doing well as far as he's not competent.
So limited competence was offensive. I mean, I never got one, but I can imagine some kid. Though, if you're the kind of kid that's getting LCs, your mum and dad might not get it. You know, might just be like, well, at least there's some competence. It was a stupid grading system. I'm not arguing that.
That's it.
But yes.
Well, that's all.
I think you might be onto something.
I think the second half of the alphabet is the cooler half. Yeah. All right.
Go on then.
Quick drag.
Drag number whatever.
There, you know, we got to fly through these.
Yeah.
Documentaries.
Yep.
They're all about capturing reality.
In theory.
Well, nature, like a nature documentary.
I suppose the ones that aren't are generally just propaganda and not documentaries. Yep.
So why did nature documentaries use slow motion? That's not realistic.
Ooh, that's a hell of a drag. I don't know. I got no answer.
Get rid of the slow motion. It's not authentic.
Sure.
Lions don't move that slowly.
No,
They're
they
very
don't.
quick.
But what if the slow motion is meant to get you to appreciate the complexity of the action that's happening?
It's not capturing reality. That's my stance. I'm going to die on that hill.
You would die on that hill?
Yep, what's the next drag?
All right. Works for me. Yeah. This one's more of an opinion than anything else.
Yep. Good.
I think that the cheaper and the more processed a meat product is, the better it tastes in all cases.
So you're a fan of Strasbourg?
Yep.
I did actually like that as a kid.
Yeah.
I had a housemate who went on a bit of hard times.
Yeah.
And he started buying luncheon meat.
Yeah.
It was just the tube.
Just the paste, the pink paste.
Yeah.
Doctor sausage, they call it in Russia.
That we were all a little disturbed by luncheon meat. We're like,
what's wrong with luncheon meat?
It's not specific enough. What is it?
No, it's extremely specific. You eat it when you're on a luncheon.
Yeah. First of all, no one goes on luncheons anymore. Luncheons are...
When is the last time I heard the word luncheon that wasn't luncheon meat? I don't remember.
I don't think I've ever heard it outside.
I think Matt Berry says it in Toast of London a couple of times, but other than that...
But yeah, so that just disturbed me. He would cut up this luncheon meat and put it on a sandwich. And
It tastes good, though.
He also decided he didn't have enough money for potato chips, so he got a potato and cut it very thinly.
And just fried it.
And fried it himself.
What's wrong with that?
The effort to go to when, like, for an extra... I don't know what a potato was worth, but you can get potato chips pretty cheap.
That's true.
They're not a high...
It's not a high complexity item. They don't take a lot of manufacturing.
And if you're at the point where potato chips are becoming a little unaffordable...
You probably need to do your budget.
Yeah, like... That
Was this while you were living in the share house?
Yes.
Jeez, how poor was he?
Well,
Was he just out of work and stuff?
He went on a holiday and then he came back and then he lived on a credit card for a while.
Classic mistake. Classic mistake, that one.
So, yeah.
But the point at which this becomes extremely clear to me is sausages. Other things, whatever. Like, I really like kebabs and shit. That's all mystery meat, right? No one really...
You asked for chicken, you asked for lamb.
Yeah, okay. I suppose it started life as a chicken or a lamb, but what it is now is... It's an abomination, really, compared to where it started, right? It doesn't mean it's not fucking delicious, I'm just saying. But for me, the easiest way to tell is sausages. I have never once in my life eaten a sausage that I've enjoyed more than the shit thin barbecue sausage you get at Bunnings or whatever. Any sausage sizzle, democracy sausage, right? Those ones that are substitutes, glue, and dreams of beef, or whatever they're made of, beef I think, or beef, pork, whatever the fuck is in them, right? Probably just the cows with 3 heads and shit, right? Are way better. They've got more consistent texture. They don't have gristly bits in them. They haven't got fucking green and orange and blue, well, not blue, bits in them. They don't have like that weird mealy texture because gourmet sausages apparently just means not mashing it to the point where it's got the texture of a sausage. Mm-hmm. And it's instead putting like a bunch of like mincemeat in a sock, a plastic sock. Mm-hmm. That's apparently a gourmet sausage.
I do like a cheese Kransky. You not a fan?
They're fine. They're fine, but they're pretty cheap too.
Are they?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Well, they have that perfectly even consistency.
It's the problem, I think, it's the problem that with a gourmet sausage, you can't slather it in tomato sauce.
I have no qualms about slathering anything in tomato sauce.
And does that improve the gourmet sausage to you?
No, the problem with the gourmet sausage more than anything is the texture.
Right.
It's that mincemeat in a plastic sock texture.
Right.
I hate it. Just give me that finely pureed beef.
Well, look, I can't...
in a sock.
I don't dislike the cheap sausage, so I can't...
Oh, you just had 2 for lunch.
I had 2 for lunch.
Yeah.
Have I told you about the time I nearly killed myself cooking sausages?
That is such a great hook.
What?
Can you imagine a negative reaction to, have I ever told you about the time I almost killed myself making sausages? Is it possible to get a negative reaction to that?
I don't want to hear about that.
I don't think so. No. I don't think there's a person on earth that wouldn't be like, what the fuck? And then want to hear the story.
So, dear listener, it was a foggy December evening.
Oh, right. Okay.
I actually don't know what the weather was or even what month it happened. But we moved into the share house and we had a kettle and it needed a jug plug. And the only jug plug we had was 5 meters long, which was ridiculous for going...
It was a computer cable, right?
No, I don't know where this thing...
Was it one of those, like, 3-prong ones?
Yeah,
that's a computer cable.
I don't know why it was 5 meters.
Yeah.
But anyway, so it sat mostly coiled on the bench because the jug never went very far from the power socket anyway. And one day I was cooking sausages and turning them over in the frying pan and I got pins and needles up my arm. Very severe pins and needles. And I thought, oh, that's weird. And I took my hand away from the pan and they stopped. I'm like, well, that's odd. So I went to turn the sausage again, and the pins and needles returned. I'm like, fuck, that's very odd. And then I realised that the kettle cord had rested against the frying pan and had melted down to the bare wire so that the entire pan was
electrified.
It was live.
Yeah.
And there I am holding metal tongs, just nothing but metal tongs, and just flipping sausages. And luckily, I didn't touch them because... that would have sucked.
That would have sucked a lot.
But yeah, pins and needles like I'd never felt before.
Frankly, I think with the it's a low level, but I do have a level of health anxiety.
A level of...
which really begs the question, why do I smoke? But honestly, if I got pins and needles in my left hand, I would have thought I was having a heart attack.
Well...
Did it cross your mind?
I don't know what... crossed my... Yeah, it was really weird.
Because pins and needles in the left arm, that's sign number 1 of a heart attack that's coming.
Actually, I think it was my right arm.
Oh,
but anyway, it was just weird because it was so conditional. It was like there... and
touch the pan, pins and needles. Let go of the... Yeah, true.
Well, near the pan. I didn't touch the pan, luckily, but...
Also, the tongs... So it was arcing from the...
Yeah. Wow. The tongs didn't touch the pan. It was just like... Because normally I'm not that probably delicate, and I probably do normally touch the pan flipping sausages over, but luckily I didn't this time.
You could have died, Tony.
I could have died. Just so, get a shorter cable is the moral of that story. There's no need for a 5-meter kettle cord.
Try and avoid leaving kettle cables, or really any kind of cables, against a hot pan.
Yep.
Life advice from the Hidden Agenda.
Make that part of your agenda.
Try not to... Though... if you had killed yourself cooking sausages, would you put that on your headstone?
Well, I wouldn't have a choice. If I killed myself, that I think would be out of my hands.
All right.
Would I want that on my head?
Yeah, okay, yes. Would you want it, he died cooking sausages? Or even better, he died doing what he loved, cooking sausages.
That would be quite funny. If that was on my headstone, I wouldn't probably have a qualm with it. Yeah. Whether or not I want it there is different, but
if someone just did it,
I wouldn't mind.
If someone just did it, if your girlfriend or your mum or your dad thought he was a funny guy, he would want something funny on his headstone and put it there. You wouldn't be looking down from wherever you are, or up, probably up.
No, we don't know that.
Look, I don't know that for sure. To be honest, frankly, I don't want to offend you either, but I'd definitely be looking up and not down at my headstone.
We don't know how lax. I think it's getting laxer all the time up there.
Yeah.
You just gotta...
St. Peter's probably getting old by now.
Yeah, it's probably people walking in with fake IDs.
In any case, I would find it amusing. I think I would enjoy it.
Yeah. All right, Thanasi.
Yo.
How interesting to you is an empty room? It's got nothing in it. Is that very interesting or pretty uninteresting?
I would say a little of both.
A little of both?
Yes, but and only because I'm trying to make this difficult for you.
Okay.
No. I would say probably uninteresting.
Uninteresting.
I guess I might be excited about what I could do with the space, but then I would get bored.
Right, yeah. Now, what... Do you find space interesting or uninteresting?
You mean like the cosmos?
The cosmos.
Extremely interesting.
It is just an empty room, really.
It isn't though, is it?
But...
It's not empty.
It's mostly empty.
Sure, but it's not empty.
It's mostly empty.
It's not empty though.
It's got nothing in it.
It's got plenty of things in it.
It's mostly empty.
You absolutely cannot claim that.
It is...
There are many millions upon millions upon millions of solar systems and stars and planets and whatever.
But there's a lot more of nothing.
I mean, I guess.
It's just...
However, it isn't nothing.
But it's basically nothing.
But it's not nothing, is it?
But it's basically nothing.
It really isn't.
The point I'm trying to make is people who find space... who dedicate their whole interest to space, I just sort of think it's empty though.
Yeah, but you can ignore the empty bits. You can condense space down to the interesting bits.
But then they're not
An empty room has no interesting bits.
To me, then they're not really interested in space. They're interested in
the things in space.
Yes.
Yeah, but there's not a person on Earth that's interested in space that would tell you that their interest lies with the space and not the things in it.
But there's a lot of people who say, I would like to go to space one day.
Sure.
Why? It is an empty room up there.
You're telling me that you wouldn't go to space to be able to look back at the Earth? You wouldn't find that interesting?
If the opportunity was given to me...
If someone said to me, look, you're going to go to space, but you can't look at anything. Well, then, of course, I would say no. Because that literally is just shooting me up into the darkness for no reason.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But in space, there are interesting things to look at.
Yeah.
Right?
The Earth being one of them. Right. I can understand, but it's the yearning that I don't.
It's the adventure, it's the freedom, it's the, it's the triumph of mankind. It's that shit.
Yeah.
It's I put myself in an explosive penis and threw myself into the sky.
Yeah. We got trolleys.
Why, a flammable penis.
I could get in a trolley and fly through a window into an empty room. Is that any different?
That's extremely different.
Yeah, I can't even back that up.
No, you can't. No.
No. I don't know.
I think it would be funny. And in fact, you could make a lot of money putting that on the internet.
I probably could.
But
I'd probably hurt myself.
Definitely not the same as going to space.
Yeah, it is just an empty room.
I disagree.
Well, it's a room with not a lot. It's very vast.
Sure. In fact, I'm surprised you haven't come to me with the argument of, but even an empty room is full of dust.
Well, I thought we'd have sort of... We both knew this and we would have danced around it anyway.
Yeah. You're wrong, though. You're definitely wrong about space.
It's the things in, like, other planets.
Look,
yes.
someone saying that they're interested in space is really just a shorthand for them saying they're interested in the things in space, right?
You know, I've just had a revelation.
This'll be good.
In the same way, I don't find an empty field particularly interesting.
Yeah.
A property developer would probably be very excited.
Yes.
I wish to retract my point
about space.
About space. I've had a revelation.
All right.
And it's, like always, related to the property market. Yeah. So, I found myself, not that long ago, in a group of people. Mm. Some people from out of the country visiting.
Yes.
Asking the question, What should we do tonight?
I hate answering that question.
But this question was made a lot more trickier than the fact that one of the people was a 14-year-old boy. And in the city of Melbourne, that just cuts out so goddamn much.
Basically all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's pretty much nothing you can do.
No. Someone suggested bowling, which pretty good. Pretty good suggestion.
Is it though?
Well, what else can you do that everyone's going to be interested in?
Yeah.
So we went to the bowling. It was around 7 o'clock at night. Got there. Yeah, we booked out till 10. Ah, great. But it's just like... It's
an arcade or something?
Well, that's what we kind of ended up. But then the older people went in. They were just sort of sitting in chairs waiting for...
the kids to be done.
But it's just... And I remember being this age as well and just sort of like... And old people sort of go like, why is that kid on the computer all the time? He can't do anything else. Like, that's why he's on the computer. That's why a lot of people, I think, spend a lot of screen time. What else can they do?
I mean, yeah, when I was 13, 14 years old, unless I went for a ride on my bike or something, or went to the park to play with some other kids, there wasn't much else to do.
No.
But I mean, that's kind of what you do at that age, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's then when you're sort of stuck together with adults. If you're just hanging out as other 14-year-olds...
Well, if I was ever stuck together with adults, I sat in the corner and shut the fuck up. I don't know about anyone else.
It was weird. I had a complete breakdown trying to come up with activities that would support everyone in this group.
Oh, it's impossible.
Yeah.
No. When there's kids and adults together, that you can't. It's impossible. Bowling may be the exception.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, I remember one of the things...
Go-karting.
Well, see, it was a bit short notice for... Like, we were in the city. We needed to do something in the city of Melbourne. And you're like, just go to a bar. Nah, out.
Yeah.
Being young and things to do, there's a 2-year... I define it as the 2-year shit period.
It's a very creative name.
Where you turn 16 and you're now paying adult prices for everything, but you can't do anything adult. So in the cinemas, once you turn 16, you have to buy an adult ticket.
Yeah.
But you cannot go and see an R-rated film.
No.
That to me is bullshit. Like, you have to have the same line in the sand.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I'm buying an adult ticket, that should entitle me to go
watch an adult movie.
Any adult film I wanted.
Yeah.
If I'm that's...
So should they bring the R rating down to 16 or the adult ticket up to 18?
I think the easier thing to do would be the adult ticket up to 18.
That's definitely the easier thing to do.
Yeah.
Is it the more correct thing to do?
I don't know.
Is an 18-year-old, particularly an 18-year-old male, any more mature and capable of handling the grotesque sex and violence in an R-rated film at 18 as he is at 16?
Look,
I put it to you that they aren't.
I don't know, but what I do know is that more thought went into 18 as a rating classification than went
16
into...
as an adult ticket. Yeah,
yes.
You're right.
And I think the one that had less thought put into it should be the one to
that's
budge.
Changed, yeah. Yeah, that is a bit of a shitty period of time.
Yeah.
16 to 18 for various other reasons too. But
mainly movie tickets. That was my big gripe. What do you mean I'm paying for an adult ticket? I'm not even an adult yet.
Man, if that's the only problem you had at 16 years old, then you were very lucky.
But mate, you should be able to walk into a liquor store and you want some ID? I went and saw this adult movie. Here is my...
Give them a ticket for an R-rated movie. Yeah.
Well, no, not an R-rated film. Just an adult ticket for MA or under.
Yeah.
And there you go. Look, I wouldn't be an adult if I didn't have an adult ticket.
Yeah.
Right. Can't beat that logic.
I don't know. I think you could.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Well, I think we'll probably call it at this point. We'll do one more each.
Mm-hmm.
My last one.
Yep.
Is really one of the most embarrassing things you can do. This happened to me at my new job.
Yes.
And this has happened to me at all of my new jobs. Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the introducing yourself to somebody you met the day before.
Right.
And this one that happened to me a few weeks ago was by far the worst one.
Right.
Because the lady turned around to me and said, "Oh, I mustn't be very memorable."
Oh, lady, you don't say that.
And I was just like, "Look, I'm sorry.
Oh,
It's not that. I'm just a little overwhelmed with all the people I've met.
Oh,
It won't happen again."
what is she doing?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
She's not going to listen to this, is she?
No.
Oh, good.
No.
That's not great.
No. I felt like a real piece of shit.
Did she say it in like a joking manner?
No.
Oh.
And not only did she say it, she then walked away from me and avoided me for the rest of the day.
Oh.
Or at least it felt like it. I don't know.
Lady.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are you doing?
I'm honestly surprised I'm alive.
Oh. That's horrible.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you had to go through that.
I'm sorry I had to go through that.
Fuck.
Yeah.
You-
She had a dejected look on her face and she looked me dead ass in the eye and said, "I mustn't be very memorable."
That's not cool.
And that's definitely not cool.
Oh my god. You must have cringed so hard.
I almost died.
Oh, why? What? This angers. Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah. Because when she said it, of course I was apologetic. But really, what I wanted to say is like, listen, that's really not fucking fair. You can't do that, right? That is unacceptable behavior, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, I beg your pardon, kind of thing. But
Yeah.
you can't do that because I've just offended her, right? So,
Oh,
and you know what's even worse?
I'm cringing like
Yeah.
by association.
Do you know what the worst part of all this is?
What?
Not even that shit.
No.
She sits 3 desks away from me.
Oh god. Oh dear.
I had been sitting at most 10 meters away from her for 3 days before that happened. I just hadn't seen her. She's a very small person. Yeah.
It's all right. Who's to blame here? I mean, I don't want to say that you're entirely without blame,
Of course not.
but
I forgot somebody I met. It's a shitty thing, but it does happen.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
But you can play it cool. You can say how we've actually already met.
If somebody introduces themselves to me and I've already met them, at worst I would be like, "Oh, we met at such and such, but we didn't talk very long," or something like that, right? And they'll be like, "Oh, yeah, sorry, I forgot." And that's it. That's the end of it, right?
Yeah.
Or if it's somebody you really only bumped into and you think, yeah, figures that they wouldn't remember me, you just ignore it. Just be like, "Hey, nice to meet you."
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Problem solved.
Yeah. But like, "Oh, I mustn't be very memorable then," I can't think of a worse thing to say.
No, that is getting up there with the worst.
I don't think there is a possible worse response other than maybe kicking me in the balls.
It's not that this is the second time this has happened and you've just forgotten the first time, is it?
No.
You haven't this isn't the third time you've introduced.
No.
And she said, like, "Look, I let
I let the first one slide, but no. It was the second one. The whole thing was a fiasco.
That's fucked. That is ridiculous.
Absolute fiasco.
Oh, man, I'm so sorry for you.
Yeah, thanks. I'm sorry too.
That is... it is uncalled for.
Oh, I had to have like 3 cigarettes after that. Yeah. It was bad, dude.
That is terrible. I'm just like, my mind is just shocked.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even...
Can you imagine saying that to someone?
No, I can't.
That's never crossed my mind. Until I heard it, that's the kind of shit that Larry David would write in an episode of Curb, right?
But not even for the Larry David character.
No. For someone, he would happen to Larry.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying, is he would write something like that.
Yeah. That is fucked. That is fucked. It does, you touch on something that I was going to bring up as a drag, which is how long should we wait before assuming that someone has forgotten us? If you meet someone...
Hang on, you meet them once and then some amount of time passes?
Or maybe once, twice.
You know them briefly. You've met them briefly.
Yeah.
How long before you expect they've forgotten you?
You see them walking down the street. Do you go for the hello or do you go, they're not going to remember, like... Do I don't know. I guess I walk past people sometimes and I just like, I don't know if they're going to remember who I am. And maybe that's a little egotistical because I'm walking around going, I must have a better memory than everyone because I remember them and surely they're not going to remember who I am.
I usually throw it out there.
Yeah.
Hey, worst comes to worst, I'll be like, oh, yeah. You know, they'll be like, where did we meet? I'll be like, here. Oh, yeah, you know.
Right.
Don't hold on to them for too long because if they're just lying to be polite, they want to get the fuck out. So just like, hey, you know, nice to see you, whatever. Maybe we'll catch up sometime. Yeah, you know, it's right. No one's catching up with anyone, and you just walk away, kind of thing. But you know, you do it in the off chance that they respond positively and whatever, kind of thing. Yeah, you can tell immediately whether they remember you or not. Anyway,
I have a problem because I used to, you know, do stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
And I'll see people, and I'll be like, have I ever actually? I don't know if I've ever met them or if I've just seen them a lot.
Act, yeah.
And if I go up and say hi, are they even going to know who I am?
Oh, as in like people in the audience?
No, just people like other comics and things. I'll be like, I don't know if I've ever met you. I don't know.
I've seen you around.
I've seen you around, but
yeah,
that's
a good point.
So I don't know when to assume. They won't remember me.
I would say like a few months. Like if you
a few months.
If I was to, you know, look, if you bump into someone at a party, you exchange names and that's it, then they've forgotten you the next day. But like, let's say I'm at a house party and I meet someone and I talk to them for, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes, something like that. I would probably expect a month or two later they might remember me. Even then it wouldn't be guaranteed. But after like 3 or 4 months, I'd pretty much be...
Right.
I wouldn't be expecting much.
I tend to go on for years. I assume I remember people years after I first met them.
I remember people for years after I've met them, but I generally have a pretty good memory as well.
Yeah, so you're walking around going, nah, I can remember everyone.
But no. But only if someone makes an impression on me, good or bad, I'll remember them. If someone is lukewarm, I will forget them the second I turn around.
Right.
I have met people and forgotten their names 5 minutes later because they didn't have anything interesting to say.
Right.
Yeah. That lady at work.
She'll be in your memories for a long time.
She will be now, right? But when I initially met her, it was literally when I went in to meet the team for the first time and I shook everyone's hand and just got their names. First of all, I'm not going to remember all those names after one round.
No.
Right?
No.
So... whoops, I guess.
Yeah, no. She should have been way cooler.
She absolutely should have expected that I don't remember who she is. And in fact, I did it even worse with other people, but they played it off. Like, there was this one guy who was in the first hour of our first day. We got given our laptops and set up with various accounts or whatever, right? And he was sitting next to me. A couple of days later in the lunchroom, I didn't recognize him. Right? He had shaved and he was wearing something else. So I didn't recognize him immediately. So when he was talking to me, he started talking about work stuff. And I asked him, how long have you been with right? And he goes, it's so-and-so. We were in the thing the other day. Oh, yeah, dude. And he's just like, don't worry about it. That was it. That was fine. Like, yeah, okay, I messed up. It was a little bit awkward, but
right.
I kind of went like, yeah, man, sorry. I've met like 1,000 people in the last couple of days. Like, yeah, I know, don't worry.
Yeah,
I think, yeah.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
That's how you do it.
Yeah.
There was no awkwardness. Did I tell you about the time I was in a 7-Eleven? And I walked in and there was a guy there and he looked familiar and I was like, I reckon I know this guy.
Yeah.
I couldn't figure out where. But then I noticed he was giving me looks like, I reckon I know this guy. So I just blurted out, do we know each other? And he said, yeah, I think we do. And I said, did you go to school in Warragul? He's like, no. I'm like, did you go to uni at Monash? No. Did you do anything for RMI TV? No, I didn't. Did you do any stand-up? He's like, no. I'm like, help me out, man. And he's like, have you ever done anything at the yacht club? I'm like, no. And then we just went, I guess we're not going to solve this. And so we bought our stuff and went our separate ways.
You never worked it out?
Never worked it out.
Wow.
We felt like we knew each other, but to this day, I don't know I don't know how I knew him. I went through every sort of clique I sort of knew. He went through a lot of cliques he knew. Nothing.
So you must have just looked like people you knew.
I don't know, or whether we just never hit upon
the one
clique. Maybe it was he knew one of my friends or something. We saw him at a house party.
Yeah,
once,
you probably would have met him at a party or something. Yeah.
Yeah, but that was it. And then we just...
It's hard to list all the parties you've been to.
It is, but I just thought it was a strange...
You know what? Even if you haven't been to that many parties, it's hard to list all the parties you've been to.
That's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then the mystery was never solved.
What would be really funny is if it turns out he was on your Facebook friends list and you just didn't know.
I do.
Has that ever happened to you?
Yes, no, I've got people, I'm like, when did you get onto my list? But also, like, I think it's exacerbated by the fact that people sort of seem to be going through a privacy thing now, so they'll just change their name.
Yeah.
And you're looking like, who the fuck is this person? With a picture of a sunset and a name I don't recognise. You're looking, it's like, oh, it's Bill from childhood.
Yeah.
I don't know, though. You can't just change your name on me, Bill.
And it's happened to me where I've run into someone in the street. I thought I've recognised them. I've gone, I know them from somewhere. We might not have spoken at the time. Then I've come home and just gone, let me have a look. And then, sure enough, found them on my Facebook friends list.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even remember what that guy looks like now. I couldn't look it up now.
Yeah. Anyway.
Cool.
I think we're probably done.
Yeah, should we end it there?
Yeah, you got another one, or?
Yeah.
Because we kind of parlayed into one of yours, but it was very much related. I think it was little more than a tangent.
I could do this one. I could save it for the next episode.
Has it got enough meat for a full episode?
Possibly.
Possibly is good enough for me. Are we going to do any other business, or I don't think so.
I think
special episode.
What we would like to do, listeners, is eventually have an episode with topics.
Oh yes, yes, we did talk about this.
You guys,
yes.
So email topics into the email address.
The email address. So email us at thehiddenagendapodcast@gmail.com. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/hiddenagendapodcast. And yeah, email us topics. Send us topics. Like our page. Share our page with friends. Share our episodes with friends. We're really struggling here.
Are we? What are we up to, listener-wise? We
couple of hundred.
Couple of hundred.
Over 9 episodes, 8 episodes, whatever's out at the moment.
Eight episodes. Yeah. So that's good. That's
it's like
more than zero.
It's like 11 people an episode on average.
Yeah, we're just missing that missing ingredient to go viral.
Yeah, it's called money.
Yeah, but maybe if we just...
It's called spending thousands of dollars on advertising.
What if we got a bunch of CDs and just like burnt episodes and then just threw them out a window or something? Or left them behind on the bus?
It's not a terrible idea.
Can tell I don't have a marketing degree.
No.
Leave things on a bus.
I do know somebody that has a marketing degree, though.
Yeah?
I should ask them.
Would you, if you found a disc on a bus that said, hilarious new podcast, would you put that into a computer you cared about?
Oh, I'd put it, I'd use a sandbox.
Yeah, right. And, then you'd be fine. And then you would discover a hilarious new podcast.
Yeah. It'd be good.
I probably wouldn't. I'd just...
Well, look, if someone left a CD behind on a bus that said hilarious new podcast, I would be curious. Because if it's malicious, that's a good way of going about it, right? I find that interesting. Because it's kind of innocuous, right? Hilarious new podcast. It's kind of like fun.
Mm-hmm.
You can see like a mum picking that up and going, oh, I wonder what this is, kind of thing.
But it's funny to think that, I mean, we're talking about exposure.
Yeah.
Somewhere out there's probably a virus maker who's having the same thoughts. He's like, maybe I could just leave the virus on a bus?
Yeah.
It's hard to get through the internet, these
firewalls.
Well,
it's amazing how many people fall for the old USB stick at the front door.
The USB, what?
So a lot of people that are targeting corporations and things like that, they just need to get into one computer on the network, right? Mm-hmm. So they just put a malware package on a flash drive and just drop it on the sidewalk outside the building, hoping that somebody will pick it up and plug it in a computer on the inside. And it works.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, that's scary that it works.
It does.
You don't want that to happen.
No, you don't.
Oh.
But yeah, that's it.
Yep.
Hope you enjoyed the Dregs episode.
Yes, the
Well,
dregs.
is that the point? Are they supposed to enjoy this?
Yeah, they're supposed to enjoy it.
Okay, they're still supposed to enjoy
We're
it.
supposed to be rapid fire enough that,
How many did we get through in the end? I lost count.
yeah, I don't know.
Had to have been more than... That was more than 10.
It was less than I expected.
Was it?
Yeah, I thought we'd just go.
Oh, they'd be like 1 or 2 minutes each?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't have like 40 Dregs, though.
No, we did not.
No. Yeah, thanks for listening. Have a good one.
I'm Tony.
I'm Thanasi.
And we'll see you later.
Bye-bye.